Why does Goomy need water? Welcome back to Shelby on Safari, the place where I, a wild animal biologist and Pokemon trainer, love to combine my passions into one. And with Pokemon Go's Goomy Community Day right around the corner, I wanted to explore my favorite dragon-type Pokemon. I know, hear me out. So you ready? Join the safari and let's get started. Goomy, the soft tissue Pokemon. There's more to meets the eye to this dragon type than you realize. Often considered and shamelessly called out in the Pokedex for being the weakest dragon type Pokemon, these guys certainly need their water. In fact, in Pokemon Go, you need the rainy lore to finish the evolution line. So why is rain and water just so important to Goomy and its evolutions? Their body is mostly water, and so they live in damp, shady places as to not dry out. For if their skin does get dry, it gets a little complicated. And by complicated, I mean they're unable to breathe. Sounds pretty harsh, right? Well, let's look at our snails. In land snails, oxygen intake occurs through a network of thin-walled blood vessels in the mantle cavity underneath their shell. Just like Goomy, a loss of water through breathing is a serious problem. In our real-life Pokemon, protection against the loss of water happens in a pretty cool way. There's a particularly thick fold of skin in the mantle which closes off the mantle cavity. The stream of air, which the snail breathes in, passes through a small opening. The snail can use its muscles to control the opening of the breathing pore. Now, just like Goomy, most snails make use of the cool and damp conditions that typically happen at night, and therefore are nocturnal. And if it's too dry to protect themselves, they seek out a suitable hiding place. And you guessed it, it's probably one that's cold, damp, and dark. They hang out here until the dry spell has ended. Some snails actually crawl up a plant stem and then enter a state of dormancy to kick back, relax, and wait until the rain comes. But this is where it gets pretty snazzy, and why the mucus membrane of Goomy is so important. Seems like the Pokemon developers gave a nod to our real-life Pokemon of snails, with the importance of the mucus. Oh yeah. Snails can then close off the entrance to their shell with a seal made of slime, with which has a dual purpose, for they also use it to stick to the surface they've chosen to hide out and wait out the dry season. Now, one of my favorite videos that I filmed is the real-life Goomy, the story of the Partula snail. Oh yeah, when I go to a zoo and I see these guys, I am so excited. I've seen them at Marwell, ZSL London Zoo, and Riga Zoo. Now, the Partula snail, they too have a love of leaves, just like Goomy, which we've seen in the anime. During dry periods on the volcanic islands of the Pacific, the Partula snail hangs on tight to leaves and waits for the dry period to cease. When it rains, that's when they literally make their move. Go out, look for nice decaying leaves, and even a buddy. With Partula snails living in trees, because they're also known as the Polynesian tree snail, there's a whole lot of species out there, but we'll get to that in a bit. Where was I? Ah yes, with Partula snails living in trees, the mucus is especially important for their daily life. Most of their body, and that of Goomy, is the foot. This secretes a mucus that allows the snails, or Goomy, to slide across surfaces or stick to them. And in the case of Goomy, protects them from any Pokemon attacks. Now, the light and dark stripes on Partula snails' striped shells can help prevent them from drying out, as well as improving camouflage from predators, which, in the case of the Partula snail, is not what you might expect. It's actually another type of snail. The Florida rosy wolf snail was introduced to the Pacific region in the 1970s, and it certainly caused a stir. As a result of them being introduced, of the 77 known species of Partula snail, 51 became extinct, and only 11 survive in captivity. In fact, to learn more about this incredible conservation story and why it gets me so excited and hopeful for the future, check out my Goomy video just up here, or I'll pop it at the end of the video, because we need to talk about Goomy Community Day. I am so excited to get my hands on a shiny Goomy. I love the bright yellow color. In fact, it reminds me of You guessed it, a Partula snail. We're gonna get double candy for catching Pokemon, as well as 3 times Stardust for also catching Pokemon. Now, if I were you, I'd play it clever and make sure you've Mega Evolved a Dragon-type Pokemon, so you can get even more bonuses. But I gotta say, my favorite thing that I'm looking forward to, apart from getting a shiny Goomy, is the stickers. Have you seen? They have beautiful artwork with Goomy in the rain, aptly enough, as well as Goomy's hiding under leaves. Ooh, how cute is that? So Goomy needs water to breathe, to be able to survive. And water is equally important for that of our real-life Pokemon, in particular, the Partula snail. If you've enjoyed learning a bit about this dragon Pokemon, leave this video a thumbs up. And to keep your adventure going, check out that video on Goomy and the Partula snail, in which I dive into this incredible story a bit deeper. So go on, click it. I'll see you over there. And good luck on Pokemon Go's Goomy Community Day.